Yo, hello. How you guys doing? I'm just posting the message in Discord. What the hell? What the hell? There we go. There we go. Evening. Boom. Boom. Dude, my hair's starting to get long. It's starting to fall flat. Man, you guys been going pretty ham on Dentober. It's pretty crazy. How you guys doing? Critiques. Oh, I need to add the URL to the stream. Oh, jeez. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. There we go. Blast that. BTVR, Polly Socks. Crime, how you doing? Crime. Okay, your name's Crime now. Wookie, what's up? Hello. Nacho, what's good? What is good? How's your guys' week been going? Anything exciting? Zareth, what's up? Twice Taste, hello. Batu, hello. You passed your art test and you're on to your next interview. Holy cow. That is exciting. Congratulations. Keeping it chill for Spider-Man. I was just watching a playthrough of Spider-Man 2. Jamie, what's up? Yo. So I think so we have portfolio reviews next week because there was a schedule offset because I think the last one was there was internet issues. I also found out that there's a new internet provider in our building for quite a bit cheaper. So probably be switching to that. It should give me 1,000 up and 1,000 down for less than what I'm paying for 200 up and 200 down. Like, what's that about? That's kind of crazy. What else is going on? Yeah, I think I have to move the portfolio reviews next week to maybe a day earlier, maybe like Wednesday or something, just so that I can. I'm doing like a team building thing at work. We're gonna carve pumpkins, which is super fun because there's a lot of people on our team that have never carved pumpkins before because it's a very like North America thing, you know. So that's kind of cool. Bray, what's up, man? How you doing? Good to see you. Defilia, how you doing? Hi. In other news, if you're familiar with Ibby in the Discord, Ibby and Sarah, or Anik, as usually she goes by in the chat, they're engaged now. How exciting! Freaking crazy! I still remember realizing, wait a minute, those two are dating, and then realize like they met. I don't know if they met through the Empire. I don't know. Either way, freaking cool. So congrats to them. Like that's kind of mind blowing. I think that's 2 engagements now. But I think the other one was last year. Kind of crazy. Oh man. Okay, what do we got here in the critiques channel? It looks like we're just getting started. So we got Lesse, we've got Felterra, Phoenix, Spartan Phoenix is posting. Martin, bro, that's looking mighty fine. My gosh. Martin, if you could you post a color, like a unlit shot of that as well? I'd be curious. Cool. Let's start opening these up, and then I'll switch screens and we can take a look. Yeah, Martin, that's looking pretty sick, man. Is it Bryn? Bryn Sayo? Yo, bro. What's up? Or see you? Bryn see you? Maybe? I don't know. Yeah. MJ, what's up? Yo. Exile, good to see you as well, man. Good to see you. Oh man, you guys are popping off here. Okay, hang on here. Okay, we're gonna start because I assume people will be posting stuff as we go. Don't want to take too long. So, Quentin, yo, hi there. J Crew, hey, good to see you. I hope you're doing well. Evening from UK. This is Adam working on Cozy Octopusine. Hey, what's up, Adam? How you doing? Curious, hello. Curious, your stuff is in the mail. It should be on the way. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. Let's get into this. Let me lower the music here. Boop, 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 boop. And then find my own music. You are welcome to listen to whatever you like while we're critiquing stuff here. And if you need anything, just let me know. And from here, man, where the heck's the... Man, my playlist got all reorganized on Spotify. I don't know how I feel about that. Just grinding? Dude, aren't we all, man? Shokri, good to see you. Hello. Okay. So I've lowered the frame rate on the stream. Used to be 60. Pontus, dude, good to see you, man. I hope you're well. Hope you're well. Is there a queue in Discord? So, maybe I can just pull up Discord here and show you. So here's Discord, right? And of course I've got channels favorited, so they're up here, so I don't have to scroll through to find them. But if you go to critiques in the art topics section, there should be a channel called Stream Critique. Just post in there, and over the next 2 hours, I will try to get to you. That's how we're rolling. So here we are. I don't know where do I put myself? I'll go here. That kind of works. Yeah. All right. So first one from is it Lassie or Lassie? Hello there. This is my latest material, which I created after a summer break of not working too much with 3D stuff. It's good to take breaks. Kind of off to get going again. Had an idea for a material, which is looking at some references for an upcoming project. In the end, I will probably model those lights anyways, just playing around a bit with Designer. This is kind of cool to try and integrate it into the material itself. Definitely for lights, it's going to be easiest to, when possible, to have it modeled, right? Because bad name for English-speaking people. Dude, you don't have to apologize. I'm the one speaking English. But anything off in the maps, let's see what we're looking at here. Yeah, usually you're going to want to have these separated because whenever you have like a light source that, especially in like a ray traced environment or like a lumen environment, with it being an emissive surface, you are still going to have to add a light, or you will fight to deal with like the sparkling of Lumen or whatever ray tracing real-time GI solution you're experiencing. I love the attention to detail on the like trying to clean the glass. I think if there was something you could do about the cleaning to just make it feel more natural, is thinking about how someone cleans. Like they wouldn't wipe across this way towards the edge. They go in more of a circular pattern across the entire panel, right? Or like left to right, like this direction. And you get a lot of like buildup like you kind of are getting here. But it maybe would be the directionality of that information would be more logical to how people are moving stuff around. The other thing I could say is maybe the hot spot of the panel being a little bit more clear will help you identify like a tube. Sometimes tubes, like tube lights, will be maybe a tenth of the brightness or even just a little bit of glow in the corners. So like this one, for example, could have a little bit of a glow on the inside, and that would be just enough to help explain for anyone who doesn't understand what they're looking at. It just catches everyone's mind and they understand immediately what's happening with their materials. So something to keep in mind. Presentation's pretty nice. Love the graffiti on the top there. I don't know. I feel like you don't need this many renders of it. This one's pretty cool. I don't think you need this many renders though. Maybe like half of these. I really like this one just because it shows off your the emissive in a nice way, and there's some nice shadowing that's happening. This is also really good to show the maps like this. Yeah, generally this is pretty solid. I'm surprised how round these are. Like usually they'll have a bit more of a structure to them. Tobias, what's up, man? Good to see you. But yeah, I like the attention to detail when it comes to the like the tag, the graffiti writing, and then the sticker that's on there. Quite a bit of character. Maybe that sticker could be over here just to get like you have detail happening on the left side here and then detail happening on the left side as well. Maybe like moving it here or yeah. Maybe the screws feel a little forced. Those could probably be embedded pretty flat down, even though the material's curving. And then they're just implied. Because I think with your displacement, you're pushing it a little far in this area. For sure you're getting some stretching here, which maybe you just need to blur your height map a little bit around those areas. Just so that the displacement has a few more pixels to stretch between. Boodlestein, what's up, man? How you doing? Also, remember with your ambient occlusion, if you squint, like maybe I can just copy this image and then let's see if we can bring it into Photoshop. And just double check this. You never know when you're working from home what's in your paste bucket. So if we let's just grab this part and delete this. So if we level this out, what you want to do with your ambient occlusion is you want to make sure that you never go fully black. And so you want to clip out a little bit of the black range, and then you never want to go mid grays. So let's try and see what we're looking at here. We probably want something like, you probably want something closer to this for your ambient occlusion. Just because there wouldn't be any AO that would accumulate on the surface of that glass. You know what I mean? It would accumulate in the crevices and the little gaps. That's probably where you're going to get the most. But yeah, you probably want like a mid. This looks about right for a material ambient occlusion. But yeah, just you can see the difference there. Either way, really nice material. Looked like it was fun. Wait, what is this? Subsurface scattering. Interesting. So you're trying to get that kind of subsurface diffusing of the light. Yeah, see how soft the gradients are here? Getting that look through the dirt instead of like a softening, I think will go a long, long ways. And your roughness looks really cool, and I think it's just about making sure that the cleaning patterns kind of happen in the directions that you would expect. You're getting it there. You kind of expect that maybe on every panel. Either way, really cool. Nice job. Um, okay, one more thing. One more thing. So the metal panels, right? Judging by how they're split in the ambient occlusion, I'm gonna assume those are separate panels of metal. So what you'll want to do in your roughness is just make sure that those are offset, and maybe even has like a single percent difference between all of the pieces, just so there's offsets in the detail that's in the metal, as well as like the slight changes in roughness between all of the panels. Sounds crazy, but it's those subtleties that really like lock the brain in to go, oh, this must be real, you know? So keep that stuff in mind. All right, Faltera, we're jumping in. Here's an update. Just started to add some textures based on texture bases, and was thinking of some decals for water puddles. Since there's no video render, thoughts? So this looks pretty cool. I still like. I'm liking the details that are happening here. The water puddles and where you're getting your highlights right now is pretty nice. The street still feels very wide. If you don't narrow that, you're either going to have a really empty scene, or you're going to have to over prop in order to make it feel full. You narrowed it. Man, maybe it's just because there's not a larger object like the giant trash bins. Maybe bringing that out. It feels really. This is supposed to be a road, right? Is this a road or is this a sidewalk? Because these details, like the type of surface that we're seeing here, doesn't tell me what. I feel like it's supposed to be a sidewalk, and if it's a sidewalk, so if it's a sidewalk, it should be narrow based on concept. Because a sidewalk can be wide, but maybe it's because of the panel sizes. Like if you tried doing this panel size on the outer sides, and then going this more smoother material in the middle. Yes, so sidewalks traditionally, right, tend to be narrow. But if it's like a walking street that's quite wide, I would maybe focus on smoothing that out to make it feel more like a walking street. Because this is maybe your area of rest. And the reason it feels big is because the tiles are large. You could try scaling these down to maybe like a fifth of their size. Could get a little busy. Maybe those could be on the sidelines instead. And then you have got the big walking street. And I really love that you're playing around with the height information on the floor. Maybe like if I screenshot this, if we take, like, let's assume that this is flat, right? And then this goes up and then over like this, and then up and over. And of course it's not flat. There's some changes in there. But what if this was lower and curved upwards and then back down? Because then you'd have a little bit more of a sense of like the depth on the sides, and you could put like these guys on the inner area here, and then they catch the rain. That'll allow you to do some roughness work and some albedo changes to kind of make it feel like the moisture kind of goes onto the sides. And then that can further influence the directionality and like that it's a walking path and whatnot. But yeah, I would play around with that just a little bit, because it still feels very large. Yeah, it's quite interesting actually. I mean, it might be a combination of like doing the material swaps a little bit. These lights, if they got a little bit thicker at the bottom, like if you just scaled it up 20% just to see what it feels like, it'll help make the space feel smaller. Um, but otherwise, I mean, your asset execution is nice. I'm liking where things are going. I'm liking seeing the details. If you can, I would make a material that you could swap colors onto. So it's like a blockout material that basically gives you like a color control, a roughness control, and then if it's metal or not. Because if you can put that on all of your blockout assets, you'll immediately start to see where your focus is being shifted. If like containers need to be a different color, all that stuff, even from like a very high early level, like before you've even started to model things outside of the blockout versions. But yeah, that'll help a lot with like readability. It's been hard to be really productive. I mean, normally you're going quite fast. Maybe you're just, maybe your body's telling you need to slow down a little bit, or it's like you need a breather. You're like recuperating from all of the amazing work you've been doing. You know, it's not a rush. There's no race here. I'm liking this scene though. I think it's going to be really interesting. It feels wrong. What, the scene or your lack of productivity feeling? You being slow? You can't always be fast. That's one other thing. If you're always fast, you're basically in my mind, it's like speed debt. So you go super fast, and it's like you go super fast, and if you keep going fast, eventually you will have to stop and go no speed at all in order to recuperate all that fast that you did. So it's better to just like ride the waves with it. Just enjoy it. Yeah, enjoy what you're doing, and I'm sure you are. And it's probably weird to feel what you're describing, because when you feel slow, you're like, oh my, like what am I gonna? Why am I not going as fast? It's like because you're not going as fast. It's okay. It's okay. But I will say this is gonna be a cool scene. I can see it. I would like take your time, look at the shot, figure out like I'm talking about like size of the scene and like balancing the elements. Maybe swapping this pattern to the side and this to the center might do the trick. This right now feels like it is on top of the road. If there was like bigger height differences between them, they'll feel more integrated. And yes, the vibes are there for sure. I'm like looking forward to like some layered smoke fog action going on. Poodlestein's got some cool fog stuff he's been playing with. You should talk to him about that. Some like ground fog. Trying to see if there's anything else I want to point out here. The You were originally asking about the puddles. I think they're really cool. These are details that I usually add once everything has materials. Um, it's like puddles are like the near the last stage when you're trying to use them to help with composition and like framing of stuff. Doesn't mean you can't try them out and figure out how you want them to work and whatnot though. So, but yeah, super cool, super cool. Let's jump to the next one. Look at this. So Phoenix would like some critiques on this weapon if I don't mind. I mean, I'm no weapons artist, but I'm down. First time using CAD modeling and going for photorealistic textures. So right off the bat, I am in love with your materials because you've got some variety in there. That's for sure. There's some cool like separations of surfaces even up here. This whole barrel action going on, and there's like some cooling happening. Are you doing that in the specular or what's going on there? Is that post work? It's like cooler up here, but then as you go down, it becomes more of like a white. Oh man. Ooh, bro. Dude. This? Okay. Okay, hang on. Dude, where's DEF CON? I think you just won up to DEF CON. That that's crazy. That's some machining line madness. Bro. So I think you know how pieces are made, like in real life. So there's a lot of machining work going on here. The milling, yes, dude, it's super nice. Okay, okay, hang on, I'm drooling. Um, dude, that's sick. So there's a lot of attention to detail that's going on here. Really nice variation in your materials. Your lighting is also pretty sick with this like purple and the like this teal color. That's a great sticker placement, by the way. This is really nice. This is yeah. There we go. There we go. Wow. This looks pretty awesome. This where are we at here? There's a spot that I was so if there's one thing I've learned in my time in game dev is someone who gives feedback should never stop giving feedback, but there's still a time to like say, okay, we should finish this up and it's done. This looks amazing, but I need to find something. My gut feeling is this spot right here. Maybe a little bit of this area as well. Material variation's really good. Oh man, these renders are really nice. Maybe the black range on these renders is maybe just a hair too dark. You still want to be able to see the information. But the reason I'm pointing out this area, I'm just trying to get a good angle on it. Yeah, see these ones? This is great. So if we zoom in right here, maybe from the other angle, it's tricking me a little bit. It feels quite thin here, but I think now seeing it from this profile, I think it's fine. I was gonna say this feels a bit thin, but I think you'll see that when, like if we're up here, see how thin it feels here? But I think it's just angle or perspective. The other reason I wanted to mention this back area is it felt like maybe it was just a hair sharp. Like the edges, like some edges are pretty good with the bevel. Some other edges are just like almost laser sharp. And I know in real life they're going to be like that, but maybe in 3D we exaggerate those just a hair, so that way, like this type of beveling in here, like the highlight on the edge there, or like even this bevel up here, this one's all right as well. So it's maybe these like outside edges, just a hair more bevel than you would see in real life. So that way it reads less like geometry. Mirowin, what's up? How you doing? Good to see you. Welcome. So, oh man, this is pretty sick. So there's some. Where are we at here? Let me just scroll up here. So in this area here, I can see this rotates in the way that it's scratched. But when that comes up and then slides back, right? There should be some sliding directionality in here, right? So maybe somewhere around here there's some sliding. This isn't part of this though, is it? I think it is. So I'm trying to recall if this is the rifling of the barrel and this slides into it, or if this is all one piece. I don't know. I mean, the quality here is very good. That's the bolt. It is the bolt. Okay, so that should slide with it as well. Yeah, so when it slides, I would expect some sliding directionality on this just from the bolt coming back. Oh, Madu's excited. Yeah. Is it Topinski? I feel you, man. I would say you have a long way to go. Anyone at any point in time could be looking for work, of course, right? The quality here is, of course, very, very high. This looks great. I don't have too much else to say on it, really. The presentation's freaking fire. I'm still hesitant about completely black backgrounds. You know, I think if you want to do a black background, make it look like someone was trying to make it a black background. Like they have a set, they're hanging the gun from wires. Maybe we don't see the wires, of course, but you have like the cloth in the background, and then that's black. And then you get the imperfections of the cloth kind of giving you some variation in the background, but it's still trying to be black, right? That would be, I think that would push it over the top. It's similar to what you're seeing here. Like in this shot, this is great, but now I feel like the gun needs some sand, some dustiness to it in the surfaces. That'll, that'd be good. But yeah, super cool. Very well done. Very well done. Nice job. That's crazy. I'm gonna show this to some people at work tomorrow. That's insane. It's as insane as this thing. This piece, Martin, it's been a while since I posted this environment, but I'm pretty close to finishing it. Since I have to work on the cables and replace some of the block out meshes, as well as adding some objects in the window seal. But I would love to hear your thoughts. If there's anything that could further improve on the scene, or if there's any recommendations on what could change, thank you so much in advance. Ooh, and you gave me the color too. Okay, let's go. Always a fan. Always a fan of this like color comparisons of surfaces and whatnot. Okay, where are we at here? I'm gonna have to new image this. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab this one. Oh no. Oh no, they're not the they're not the same focal length. Okay, hang on here. I'm looking. Just give me a second. Yeah, that fan is, those blades are so small, man. I'd scale that fan up a lot. Can I? Is this gonna? I always ask myself, is this gonna work? Please. Please. Nice. I'll take it. No. Nailed it. Sick painting skills. Oh my god, it's too much. Oh, jeez. Okay. I need to calm down. I feel like it needs to literally be like the blade size. That blade size. Your chromatic aberration needs to be like dialed down to like 1% of what it is right now, and then it'll be perfect. You can see it happening like just a little too much. What I was going to say, let's see if I can boop boop boop. There we go. These white tiles. I'm really feeling like, can I just like, I don't want to make them black. I don't want to make your tiles black, but I want to expose your mind to the idea of changing the color of them. I'm just going to sample different colors because it's just going to work for what we're trying to do here. I'm doing this with a mouse too, so forgive me. So we go to what color? Oh my god. Oh my god. Hang on. Hang on. Okay. We're painting on the wrong layer, man. Every time. Every freaking time. I think if they were darker tiles... Flashbang alert. I think you'd get a better representation of like a spatial understanding. Like right now it kind of looks like shadows, of course, so don't mind me. But I think you'll get what I'm saying. Because like as we fill these in, see now all of a sudden the rug is more visible. The floor separates itself from the wall. Instead of like, this is why I was asking for this view. You can see when you squint, the floor is already kind of generally darker. So it's just taking those white tiles and pushing them down just a little bit further so that they separate themselves from the wall. If we go into like interior design type of shenanigans, this window seal, I feel like at least the bottom of it would be painted darker. You know what I'm saying? Let's see if I can. Please. That's pretty good. Let's put this on another. So let's just grab like the tile color. We'll just throw that on there. You know what? Maybe I can. Quit being scared, Dan. Just go. Just do it. Let's go. Right, so if that was like, let's do like a maybe an overlay, screen color dodge, overlay, and then we go and we bring this down. You can see how now all of a sudden it separates itself from the wall, and it feels like it's more of the space. Dude, there's so many great details in here for sure. I still have no idea why this pipe like extends the entire wall. Like, and it wraps a corner and like... This pipe's also weird. Are we behind a wall? Man, I just kind of want to paint the floor now. Just to kind of push that understanding. Either way, super nice attention to detail. Things are looking quite interesting. These light bulbs might be a hair strong, but I think it's okay. The spider web up here is really, really subtle. I don't think I can Photoshop my way through this, but so help me God, we're gonna try. Let's just do like a high pass on that or something. So what we're trying to do is emphasize the little micro detail on there, and then we'll do like a overlay maybe. Yeah, there we go. And then we'll mask it, and then we'll start erasing. Actually, we'll invert that mask, and we'll just paint where we want the web to pop. So basically what I'm asking you to do is you should increase the contrast of the web. So that way the strands really pop out. I agree with the brick size comment. I agree with the brick size comment. Although look at this. So if you grab that handle of that door, and then you think about like a brick that you would grab next to it, that's like the size. It's maybe like if the brick scaled up by like 5% more, maybe it would feel a little bit more grounded. Do you have material ambient occlusion on? I'm trying to figure out why these crevices are so dark. Man, we're really nitpicking. That tells you loads about where we're at in this painting or in this scene. What is it? Flow, smoothness, opacity? I don't know. I usually dig through these because sometimes they let you see things that you don't normally see. It's like gradients in the surface and whatnot. Let's see if we can. It feels like the crevices are maybe a little too dark. Screen space ambient occlusion command in UE5 to make the corners darker to bring the viewer to the table. I mean, dude, look back here. So chromatic aberration's so strong it's making you look back here. Toning that down will help. This looks quite nice. That depth that's in there. Over here though, man, I really feel like that's ambient occlusion kind of filling in between the gaps. Looking like if you could sort that out, I think this surface will read a little bit less busy as well. Nice attention to detail with the tape here. Maybe there could be some dirtiness going on here under this thing here. You know? Man, I need like a good like dirty brush for like just the grunge, you know? But just getting something under there, you know, would take you a long way. Maybe I'll just do this and then just pull on it a little bit. There we go. Strength. Let's go. You just need a little bit of info under there. Let me turn this up a little. Just something to ground things. So when things aren't grounded, you're gonna just like, you're like, is that floating? What's happening? Like there's a light coming from here, I suppose. And I'm expecting like a little bit more of a shadow either on this side or on this side of the tubes. They just feel like they're missing, you know, like if we let's just grab, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, nice. Thank you. Is this going to work? No? Okay. Perfect. Where are we at here? Get that. Boom. We'll just do that. And I'll erase this side. Just so that you can see the... Just getting some grounding to it. I think it's a little strong here still. For sure. But, yeah. That type of detail will really help a lot. And I see it happening here. Man, your chromatic aberration has really got my attention. So this sounds weird, but have you tried using any lenses that like bend the, like a slight lens distortion? Jade, what's up? How you doing? Dude, height maps exist again, and you can do displacement in the shader. And then it'll feed it into nanite for you. Like a fisheye lens? A little bit like a fisheye lens. Just to get... I mean, are we able to do that in here? Lens correction? I mean, this is just going to correct it, right? That's just going to correct it. I want to like, you want to distort it, you know? But I don't think I can do it in here. Curve, detail, new. Let's look at your balances real quick here. Let's just like get rid of all that stuff. Let's take a gander at the balances, and then we gotta move on. I think levels check. Okay, so let's get these black areas kind of toned back. Let me see if there's. Oh, there's info in there. You might be all right. You might be all right. So basically, you want to maybe bring your scene in. Oh, there's a nice noise going on here. Your scene render before you get into post should probably have your darkest ranges somewhere around here. So you don't want it to be full black because you want some range to move around. And you can do that through your however you're dealing with your post work. Because if I turn that off, you can see it's a little bit more washed out. It's maybe not as punchy. But it tends to look a little bit more filmic this way as well. Depends what you're going for, of course. So when it comes to your colors, I think your colors are looking pretty good. Man, your fan needs a wire. Get like just a painted wire that goes across the ceiling. You know, the wire is like really close to the ceiling, and it's like been painted with the ceiling itself. So you get a little bit of that, just to connect things a little bit more. This still feels like it's floating. If there's something we could do about that, that would help a lot. Nice. Yeah. Dude, look at that. The glass isn't distorting anything, is it? There's a way to refract the imagery now, or like the scene behind. This broom feels like it might be a little close to the door. I don't think the person would put it there. It's just like it gets a little tight in here. I understand this being open, that's fine. But I think placing this here doesn't really feel all that natural. It feels more natural to have it here maybe with the other one. And the handle of the broom does seem a little thick. A little stiff in the bristles as well. Either way, dude, this is freaking crazy good. Maybe the cat looks concerned. You know when the cat's scared and then the ears go down? And it's like... I think getting a little bit more ear action would help. You know, just a little bit of that fuzz. Can we sample maybe some darker? Yeah, something like that. And then see if you can make the cat softer. I'm like, how do I do that with pixels? Just around the edges, just a little bit softer. You just want it to feel fluffy, you know? Any of these straight lines, you gotta way to crush those. But yeah, hope that helps. Soft kitty. Fluffiness. Need to turn up the fluffy slider. Very cool. Very cool. I would just take the material on the floor and just bring down the white tiles just a little bit. See if that helps with like some scene separation. It'll definitely make your rug stick out a little bit more. And it'll separate your floor from your wall. But cool. Thank you for sharing. Hope that was a mouthful of information. So for me, the chromatic aberration should be as low as possible, but still visible. Like super low, but still there. Either way, 16. I'm looking forward to this being completed so that you can post it. Very, very nice. Oh, wait a minute. What's happening here? Is that the shader? That's pretty crazy. There's not a lot going on your ceiling. Do we get some water leaks in there? Get some water, some ceiling water damage? I still don't know what to think about those pipes. And this one that's really close to the camera, it's just odd feeling, but it's working. It's working. Okay, up next. Oh, this is looking cool. Okay, we get into the photo shoots. Photo poo. All right, so this is Kent. Could use critique on my ArtStation challenge piece? A few more small props missing, but 90% is done. So it's great that you have a lot of props to work with now. When I look at this scene, before I see the characters, I'm assuming the space is much larger, right? So whenever you build a scene like this, always have like a scale reference, right? You've got your characters in here, but like think about what's this used for. This looks like vehicles pass through, right? This looks like a checkpoint for vehicles. The width of this feels very narrow. So maybe either the street needs to be wider to accommodate that, which means you'd have to take the arch and just kind of extend it out a little bit. Just trying to work with the scale of things, because like everything seems a little small for a majority of things. The barriers look pretty good, like height wise. I like the tapering down on the end there too. Yeah, so the barriers look pretty good. I think so. There's a little bit of like a disconnect in like atmosphere. Like this arch piece here, it feels like it's using a lot of tileable materials and a little bit of damage. So maybe there's some baking going on here. Getting some like crevice detail, like this kind of stuff that's dripping here, getting everything to feel like they're connected and they've interacted with each other for a while will go a long ways. So like if you're to have like cracks that go along the top here where this piece meets the upper piece, that would help a lot. This is nice. Like this looks like some solar panel setup. These cable things, these look like Houdini madness. Like you've figured out how to use the Houdini. You know, you're a magician yourself. But figuring out how to integrate it into the scene so that it feels natural is going to be important. So normally they're not going to be so evenly like distributed in the way they're loose and all of that stuff. And I like the little like clamp that kind of brings them all back together. But this feels very generated because of the way it's kind of structured. So thinking about where it's connecting, likely this would go straight down and be pretty adhered to the wall. And then it would have to cross here and then be pinned somewhere along this structure. And then maybe it would go straight across, maybe a little bit of a hang, and then pinned again somewhere around here. And then going outwards to wherever it needs to go. I think if you look at like very quickly modernized areas, you'll see like this huge like mess of wires and cables that kind of like push in that direction, but are still grounded on where they connect and how they read. These look like these are like the 5G tower action going on here. These details should be much larger, and I think this kind of contributes to the problem we were talking about with scale. These are huge in real life. They're like if that's a person, right? There's something like this. And you can see how much that would change the the scale of your scene. Can I select this one too, please? No? Cool. Oh, I see why. I'm like, cool. Thanks. There we go. Let's do this and this and this one. We don't, no, none of that. Kind of a little better. A little better. Yeah, so like scaling these up. They're huge. So I think if you were to find a place for those, usually these are also at the highest point somewhere inside of the space. Maybe put that one up there. But yeah, just to think about the scale of things. The other thing is like the material of this pipe is really drawing your attention. So like, where do you want us to look, right? And definitely we're looking here. We got some lines that are telling us to look this way as well. Anything that can point you towards the gate is going to be key. Now, the reflectivity of these pipes here, I think if they're more dulled and maybe have a little bit more character in the way that they're dirty, and their value is going to push them more towards being part of the wall, but still sticking out as like a surface that is the pipe, right? So with that said, I mean, I think toning down the reflectivity of this and bringing up the brightness of the surface is going to just help blend it into the wall. What you're wanting to do is get this to look more like it's part of the building, and that'll get you to focus on the centerpiece, which is this scene here, this gate. Anything that needs explaining, make sure you do it in like as simple as way as possible. Like if you look at something, you're like, what is that? If you can't answer what that is in like half a second, then it's not reading. And when you look at this scene, initial impression is that this is cool, and then like you start to look at the scale. I think that's the number one thing I'm seeing. Some other things too is maybe like, so you know this pattern that's here on the side? Usually that is there as a textural element to let people with that are vision impaired know where crosswalks are at, when to stop. So there'll be like a textural change. So you would expect to see like a piece maybe about here that's also that'd be doing that pattern, this like vertical or like lined pattern. And then right when you get to this point, depending on which country, they turn into dots. So that way the person that's walking feels the texture of the ground change and they know to stop, right? Otherwise, I would watch out for your materials being too dark. Maybe you can post like a color only at some point, or an unlit, and a roughness, just to see where things are at and balance stuff, because you've got some elements that feel like they're really dark, and they're probably really dark either because they've got some metallic attributes to them or the albedo is too dark to imply what they are. This area back here looks really cool. The Infinity Club. We're dancing into forever. Cool. Maybe this line isn't needed. This one. And maybe this one and this one. Because what it's doing is it's playing with the directionality of the gates. But I can see why you're doing it. Like there's like larger structures. But the mood, the vibe of this shot is really good. It's like tuning these details. One thing you'll want to do for details in the back, get some smoke, as well as like things like this antenna or like stuff you can put on top of the building just to break up this edge. That way your buildings don't have like this very like blocky look, even if it's like just another like brick structure that's maybe like stairwell access to the roof or something. You just want some things to like kill those straight lines. That way you don't have all these laser lines that tell you, oh, I'm geometry. Like this language here, this stuff feels very strange to me. Like it's really, really thin. Maybe cutting out 2 of them and going just with 3 and then doubling the thickness of it could feel a little bit more intentional or like architecturally sound. You got some floating vibes here. This is gonna just be like just getting some drippy drips going on here. I don't know if this is, yeah, just something to connect, connect the stuff, ground everything, try and imply connections between all surfaces. Check your albedo values, make sure they're not too dark or too light. Focus on using your roughness variation to control where you want the eyes to go. And that kind of goes back to the pipes. But yeah, super cool. It's a really interesting scene. I love there's some design stuff going on here. I'm curious if like you have a reference for that or if you're just kind of going with it. Some interesting languages going on here with the just design language. Cool. Hopefully that helps. He just posted the albedo. Get out of here. Yo, there we go. Oh man, okay. So everything may be a little too dark and maybe a little too saturated in some cases, like the arch here. Dude, post your roughness too when you get a chance. I'd be curious. Anyways, thank you very much for sharing your work. Okay, up next is where is it here? This is some rock practice. Dude, you posted it. Oh man. It feels good. Feels good. It's a nice like edge highlights without going like too strong. Little practice both around 4 or 5K triangles using a 4K per rock. Lazy me just slapped that on and rendered in Marmo. I mean, if you're sculpt practicing, YOLO sometimes, right? It's like as long as you're just saying like this is what the goal was. The goal was to experiment on sculptage. Then you're good. So I think what's really helping what's happening with your rocks is you are using some directionality that is of your choice when it comes to how the rocks are formed. But I think what's making this work is these lines here. So I always talk about striations in rocks. It's like the layering, the thing that helps you understand how a rock is formed. So like this crease that's here, I think if it was sharpened a little bit here and like this crease, if it traveled through this surface here, it could be really subtle too. That way you get to keep that shape language. It helps connect all of the rock together. Like, oh, okay, this was all like one piece and then it's like fractured in ways. Cause like if you think of rocks as layers, right? Layers of a cake. And then what makes that so interesting is like tectonic plates push those rocks, right? And then they get bent, or the surface of the ground gets bent into position. That bending shows in the angles of these layers. Now the layers of these rocks will have different amounts of fragility or fragility. I think it's fragility. It's like fragile, right? They have different stages of how much they break or deteriorate or break down over time. So with all that layering, there's going to be certain parts that'll break down, and you can lean into that layering to figure out where chipping and breaks are going to happen. So by this edge being here, that allows you to like chip away at whatever layer was there, right? And when you see it here like this, I think that's the only thing that's probably missing from your albedo is the sense of layering. But I am seeing it. It's really cool. This one is definitely a video game rock, and not because I'm saying like, oh, it looks bad or anything like that. but it's like it has directionality in so many different areas, but it's so that you can use it and rotate it and use it in different ways, right? So you're trying to get more reuse out of it than like just one rock. So I can get that. When it comes to that stuff, that's when it's about like how do you place your rocks to kind of emphasize the language of the layering. Yeah, so it's more like a modular rock in that sense. Modularity doesn't mean it needs to be on a grid and snapping. That's for sure. But dude, it's super cool. I really like the material you got going on here. I think if there was a little bit of layering in the color, like just slight. Let me try. It's like let me try. We could just do like a shift. Maybe. Let's see here, like a shift downwards. Wow. Boom. What's up, guys? How you guys doing? Oh my god. Oh my god. Hope you guys are well. That's one fine rock. How are you doing, Boom? We're feedbacking on layers of rock fidelity. Fine rock is sand. Okay, so if we invert this and we just look at like, okay, how can we layer the rock in a way that works for. Yeah, I'm just gonna eyeball this. So that type of layering already does a lot for just understanding. Like you can probably do some like micro. Of course, I'm doing this with a brush, so it doesn't really read the same way. But you can like anchor onto like information and where the sharp points are, and it looks weird at first for sure because the edge is a little on the sharp side for this. So you definitely want to soften that up and probably blur it quite a bit. But this will help a lot for just feeling like the rock has different types of layer. The other nice thing is those layers are going to have different types of roughness as well. Hey, Respio, hey, thanks for the 71 months, man. Dude, freaking 71. That's crazy. Don't take this raid for granted. Yeah, you could do it in triplanar for sure. And it doesn't always have to be dark as well. It can be lighter values. And in those layers, like maybe it's a different, of course, those are going to be different types of surface language. So like maybe in your sculpt, there's like, it's noisier, like horizontal noise, or like the structure of that rock is going to be different. That's all. But yeah, cool. Let's keep going here. Let me make sure I'm not skipping anyone. Adam, I think you're next actually. Dude, this is cozy. This is freaking cozy. So if you ever get around to this, I much appreciate any feedback, man. We'll be sticking around. Everyone's work in here is insane. You guys are all insane. It's kind of madness. One day we'll do one drink for each month. Get out of here, Romeo. I would win that battle. Just FYI. I plan to take the octopus through a second pass and add subsurface scattering. Wow, I'm getting a subsurface scattering vibe already. Dude, is he sweating? Dude, he's sweating. He's sweating. Anyways, the walls are just a proto, so they're just prototype walls. They need the main pass. Upper poly counts in places to get the most out of some models. Make silhouettes clearer. Make the banners more hand painterly and break up those perfect circles. Yeah, so these ones. I don't necessarily disagree with them. Like they can be clean like that, and then you just go to the edge and you kind of tweak the edges a little bit, and then that'll feel more natural. Make the banners more hand painterly. Need a grill type thing above the octopus head. What? A grill type thing, like up here? I mean, honestly, I think what you've got going on right now feels pretty balanced. I feel like, I feel like the octopus should be, this sounds strange, but I feel like the octopus should be a little further back, and there should be a grill in front of the octopus that he's cooking on. A vent. A vent. A vent makes sense. Like a big vent here. I like this like overhang with the boxes and stuff above. I do feel like he needs like a, what is it called? Like a, it's like a grill surface where you grill meats on sticks. There's a name for it. My brain, hibachi octopus. This is pretty sick though. I'm really liking the design, the vibe behind it. Is it hibachi? Hot plate? I don't know. But like it feels like it would be cool to have a grill surface in front, and he's cooking, and it's all these things being made. This this is really cool. What is going on back here? Someone's coming, man. Another customer or an assassin from the rival hibachi lobster down the street. You good, Boom? You look like you're doing all right. That's just UE5 character. Jealous. He's jealous. The UE5 character's jealous. So I know your walls are early days. You're saying. I love the design you got going on here with the screens and all that detail. I think definitely make sure you got a bunch of references. Pentapus, nice. Make sure you got a bunch of references of places like this, just to make sure that you're getting all of the details that you normally would see, right? The other thing too is maybe like how these beams connect to the ceiling, what this is made out of, what's up here. Is there anything that hangs from here? There looks like there's some stuff that's supposed to be up here. There's stuff that's on this screen. I'm not sure what that could be, but it's tough. I almost feel like maybe you don't need a screen there. I don't know. I would play with no screen there, or maybe like more lanterns across the ceiling here, just to see what it feels like. Yeah, there's probably a menu on these screens. That's definitely my assumption. But yeah, I would look at places like this in real life and see what types of details naturally occur in these types of locations. Other thing is the height of the counter versus the height of the stools. No one can sit here right now. This is nearly impossible unless they're little like micro octopuses, and then it's just their little tentacles hanging off the edges. Then you're okay. But keep that in mind with the distance and like the heights of things and scale. Those stools should not be pushed in. Those typical menu signs outside the shop. Oh yeah, like the V-shaped, like resting on the floor. Octopi. Really cool though. I'm liking the direction of this. The points that you highlighted about what you need to work on or what you want to fix are really good. Let's look at man, that's some really interesting. This is gonna be cool. I actually really like this shot, and I think what I would focus on, dude, I love this little gap here. I would model that inwards. I would definitely model that. Like this material, I think you could actually ride with this type of a material and for sure just model these. and get that textural look. Just go with geometry, because the mood, the look of it, it feels right. Um, be careful with these super straight lines. Even if it's like making this out of like make this one piece here, and then dupe it next to itself and slightly offset them, just so there's a little bit of a difference between the surfaces. It's gonna do a lot. It doesn't necessarily need to be dense. It could just be slight changes in the height. You know how like when you put two tables next to each other and they're just not the same height, even though they're the same freaking table, and you're like, why are the legs different? That makes it real. That brings the frustration and the understanding into your scene, which makes people feel more connected to it. They're like, I thought I could get away from reality, and you're doing it here. I appreciate you also giving me some color maps. Yeah, it looks like these are modeled, or at least it feels like it. So the other thing too is like you have this highlight in the texture, right? Just change the thickness of it a little bit over here, so that, because it could still be flat, right? It could still be perfectly lined up, but in the texture, if they're slightly off, you get that breakup, that variation. That one grocery cart with the freaking wheel, the one that just like the wheels just la, 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 la. Or it's just is stuck. Like, what's it stuck on? What's happening? Thickness variety? Yeah, yeah, definitely. Like, you can see the highlights there. Like, if we go in and just like, hello, rock. We go in and let's go for it. Let's see here. I mean, even doing that, you can see the difference. Slight shift. That's all it takes. It doesn't even need to actually be offset. You're already doing some like edge information inside of your textures. You could just go with that. I think that would do a lot, honestly. What is this? I'm so curious what these all need to be and what information will be on them, because I think that's how you'll know how much detail is going on in your scene. I have not seen the original concept of this. Can we, does anyone have a link to that? That's my chat translator thing in the Discord. Really? Yo! Oh, there it is. Nice. Okay. I mean, you're nailing the concept. It's looking good. Yeah, you see the just these differences between the separations. That's going to be really nice. Well, my phone or my watch is listening to me. Huh. You're gonna have to do some work on some food. It looks like there's a hand scanner back there. Oh, you're getting there. Hell yeah. These look wider, and there's little cards here. Oh, it's interesting. It's like maybe telling you how to use the screen. Hmm. I like some of the choices you've been making on like the shape differences, like the lantern here. Yeah, get every element in there that you're expecting, even if it's blocked out. You've got the vibe though, the tone, the energy, it's there. I also appreciate that your backdrop here is being pushed back more than in the concept. The concept, it's still very like front focus, but it's looking pretty good by comparison. Like you're representing it pretty well. I like in the concept how they're making the background behind the octopus kind of darker back here. That could go a long way, I think, for getting you some separation in your scene, because you've got some darkness going on down here. But yeah, cool. Cool. Okay, next one. Nesta. Look at this surface. Crunchy. All right, this is from, where are we at here? Muhammad. Surface looks pretty cool. I appreciate showing the wireframes. Bevels are really small, but I think because of the scale of what we're looking at here, I think the only problems I have with this post is the presentation is like hyper focused on the surfaces, but we're not really seeing the entire design of the door, like as a whole. Like, show me the door, like just against the, like the door is just fully framed, and then we can like go in and appreciate the surfaces. The textures look, I'm not sure if this is like, hang on here, is this paint and this is metal, or is this all metal? So being able to identify the surfaces is going to be important. So this, I'm assuming this is paint. Getting a color difference between the metal and the paint is going to help a lot. If it is metal and this is like some form of a corrosion, then there's some color stuff that needs to happen here in order to make that read. This looks extremely high res, considering the resolution of it. Like, I'm just imagining this has to be like 4K or something to try and keep this type of information. There's some nice normal information going on here to help like give you that layer effect. The amount of rust, I'm assuming this is rust, on these isn't really reflected on the rest of the surfaces. I guess it's supposed to be paper behind these things, no? It's just, everything's very close. Like, I want to see it further back, and figuring out how to make this look this good without using like a really high res texture. Like, we don't have any texture maps we can look at or UVs. Those are things definitely you're going to want to be showing. Yeah. Yeah, Adam, that scene's going to be really strong. I can feel it. So I think I just need, like, the surface definition is just understanding what's made out of what type of like material is it, getting the roughness to kind of reflect that as well as the albedo. What is metal? What is paint? Those things are going to help. Knowing what this is made out of, why it's placed like that. Is it supposed to be a card that usually slides behind this? If it is, and the card's supposed to be stuck in there and worn down, then the card would be inside and then like peel outwards, you know? But just understanding the elements is going to be important. Otherwise, I think it's really interesting seeing how you're doing like this aging, this worn down old metal feel. And it's just, metal looks really good next to things that aren't metal. So if you can get something on top of the metal that's chipped away like paint, it sings so much more, because you end up seeing a range of roughness and also like a metal and non-metal element together. It ends up looking really, really nice automatically, just by proxy of them being near each other. Pretty cool though. So yeah, wireframes, texture flats, and pushing your material understanding to just tell us what materials they are so we don't have to guess. That'll be key to this type of stuff. That's like the number one thing with PBR is like, if you can get me to understand what the material is, if it's paint, if it's metal, if it's rust, if I can see it, if I can look at it and go, oh, I know what that is, just because of your materials, then you're getting it. Super cool though, and I like the presentation with the background. Okay, Matthew, buddy. Oh, these look high res. Okay, let's go. Yeah, lens. Mohammed, thank you for posting your work. That's a lot of warheads there. Little pods there. Some rocket pods. Finally, after many delays, the animations are done and is now ready for last track of for ArtStation. More poses on the way and feedback is welcome. Let's take a gander. Oh, that rotation. Dude, the secondary animation of the antennas. Bro. Oh, that's what I'm talking about. Oh. Dang, dude. Okay, hang on. Okay. Okay, so you see how these all open up at different stages? That is super cool. After that, the pods deploy together. I think if they could, man, this is asking a lot of you, I think, but either these come up in sections, boom, 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 you know? Those either come up in sections like, or they come up in waves where it's like this row, then this row, then this row. So it's just like a wave of them coming up. So it's just like, you know, and then like this one maybe starts here and then ends here. So then the top opens up and then those just like, they're rigged together. I mean, I believe it. I think if that wasn't on your mind to do that, I would have rigged them together as well. Oh, they're separate. Bro. Yeah. Yeah, I'd do it. This is really nice though. So secondary movements with this like little sensor thing here. These antennas wiggling around, the eye is like moving. I love that when the eye moves, the turrets slightly shift with them as well. I think someone's been looking at helicopters. Oh man, dude, when the pods are open and then the movement. Hang on, I gotta get back to that. Once the top's open, and then and then the turn, they like wiggle. They're your secondary and tertiary animations are super super nice. You need to buddy up with someone who does audio. Yeah, you need. Yes, you need to. You need to hook up with someone who knows audio. Yeah, you do see the barrel spin, but it's very subtle. You're right. It's 9:30. Let me see here. Wireframe looks pretty fire as well. Let's dig in there. Man, that is so low. Yeah, so the inside bits spinning, I wonder how you could emphasize that further. Maybe the barrels need to be a brighter blue. Where are you at? That is 9:30. It's 9:30 p.m. Sorry. I'm in Sweden. Dude, the wireframe's kind of crazy when you see it. You're like, wait, really? Dude, the Neville, what's up, man? How you doing? Who is this guy? Dude, did you see the? Hey, hey, chill. This is Mustachio Man. This is you know, it's Wario. I'm Wario. Where are we at here? We should jump to the next one. because there's still a handful of you guys. This is very impressive. You should be extremely proud of this. Jeremy hired a junior streamer to replace him. Hey, I was bored at 1:30 in the morning. Okay, I like not even kidding. I was on the couch, 1:30. I was like, I looked at Maddie. I'm gonna shave. She's like, what? Oh, yeah. And I went to the bathroom. Done. Yes, you can post this on ArtStation for sure. I want to see the breakdowns though. I want to see the. Okay, Vertex Machine. Let me make sure I'm doing this in right order here. Oh man, that poor guy. How you doing, Vertex Machine? We got to get you the community tag here as well. There you go. Aaliyah as well. Because you guys are posting your work. Sticking the neck out, you know? All right. So this looks, I can't tell what this is rendered in. This looks like it maybe is in Blender. I can't tell. But so feedback. So there's a bit of a story going on here, I'm assuming. There's some gear that's been placed down. So this person was like, I give up, and just puts their gear down, lays here, and then just waits to die. And then they die, and then their just bones are there. That's what I'm reading. A little dark. He's like, I give up. There's no fun anymore. I don't like it. That's what you're telling? That's awesome. So, man, I think it'd be crazier if it was like someone with all their gear on, like hunched over a rock, and you can tell they got hit in the back while they were hiding from a sniper. And then they died. And then you can just see the skeleton inside of the suit, and like all the gear is rolled off when the body can't hold it on anymore. And brutal. So what I wanted to say is, so I'm happy you're doing storytelling in your scene. Some compositional things that are going on. You're showing a lot of scene, which is probably making it quite time consuming to create the scene itself. There's some value that you're missing out on by the foliage that's up close being so bright. Let's copy this image and I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna be lazy about this. We're just gonna dupe this. I'm gonna do something like, let's see here. Maybe something like that. I don't know if that might be too dark. We'll put a mask on there, invert this, and then we'll just like, maybe I can find like a better brush. Just gonna eyeball this really fast. I just have a mouse, so sorry. Cool. So I think you get the idea. By having this type of contrast between all of the elements, this is going to give you more separation, so you can see what you're showing the audience, you know. So by just getting these plants to kind of push themselves back, is going to do a lot. Like if we go in and we throw in like a where are we at here? It's like a soft round. We darken this as well. Maybe a multiply, and then have it only affect this stuff. We'll just tone this back. So now you're using that to help frame your scene, right? So if you can do that, that helps narrow your scene. You could zoom it in a bit more. And then I would be looking at like your grass and any secondary plants. Like you're going to want to get us to focus on the character, right? So all of the rocks that are in the back, kind of bringing them forward, shrinking the space down, bringing the plants in, get us looking just where you want us to like zoom in on. And then I would look at your plants that you have here. I would get more like bush-like elements or smaller trees that aren't like full grown like this. Just larger, like medium elements that maybe the size of these rocks. Because you need logic behind the rocks and like where they're at. And if they're just kind of scattered through grass, it feels a little odd. Even if you could get like just rocks just throughout here, like if there was more rock placement around, kind of like what's going on here, just to give you some medium shapes and some smaller details between all of the grass, right? That gives you a little bit more logic for like the grass to latch onto as well. And then you get the micro, like, or not micro, but the big bush like materials. Then you can do less of the rocks, keep them focused to like the focal point, and then bring all the gear a little bit closer to the person. Like maybe they're just like, oh, they're defeated. They, they take their helmet off, put it to their side, and then they bled out. Like maybe their arm was across them and they died there. You don't need all of this stuff in the background to just help sell the story. And getting these medium elements to kind of pull everything together, and then adding some smaller micro elements is going to go a long way. Another thing too is think about where the grass is and the length of the grass. So around stuff, you could make the grass taller, and then as it gets further from like an anchor point like this rock, you can make it shorter, and then you can have areas where it's tall, and then it dips back down to shorter, and then maybe over here maybe it's tall again, or it's tall around this rock, and then it tapers down to be shorter in this area again. So you get this like variation of grass heights and all that stuff. Also, this person dying and being so long dead, make sure to get some color on those bones. Just some interesting elements. And remember all the nutrients that body is going to bring to the land, right? Maybe there's some flowers that kind of pop up around there. A little bit more of a statement as well because of it. Pretty cool. Just some like high level broad feedback for you. Either way, nice work. And thank you for sharing your stuff. Okay, next up, Aaliyah. Did you post a colored version and I just missed it? Maybe you did. Oh no, there it is. I found it. I found it. I messed up on Discord. It's all right. It's all right. Oh, I appreciate you taking the time to post this. I remember I was feedbacking on it a little bit, and this gives me a little bit of an opportunity to focus on a little bit more. Cool. So first of all, let's look at just the initial image. Overall, really strong already. I think there's some details back here that are going to take up a lot of your time. And I think if you just take this tree, maybe duplicate it a few times, rotate it, scale it up, and just get it in the back there, you can kind of hide that building or that structure and just do some general shape language back there to kind of imply that there's something back there. And you don't have to really focus on it. All you'll want to do is like bevel some things. That way there's nothing like really hard edged, and you'd be good. Is this place abandoned? I'm getting an abandoned vibe from it, like a subtle abandonment. Let's see here. So, kind of overgrown, yeah. Okay. So, I guess it would make sense that there's no man, these sides make me think of escalators. So what I was gonna say is the bottom part here, height wise, makes sense for this entryway. But as you go up, the angle of this is so extreme to the stairs. I think you actually just need to lower the top point by like 20%. That way this angle matches the stair a lot better. This edge is quite sharp. I would maybe bevel that as well. Just make that a little bit softer. Just makes it feel nicer to put your hand on it, you know? Let's see what else we got going on here. Looking around, I mean, this is like all designed together, right? So I would expect this side detail and this gates, like the stairs, to have a similar aesthetic. So maybe the stairs need to have like a similar color tone to them. Or like they can be this look, but then you have like a metal plate like this that's on the edge of each step or something like that, just to kind of give it the like tie the designs together. With this place being abandoned, I think you're gonna want to push your foliage a little bit more, or really make it feel abandoned. Like these lights wouldn't be on. If you want this emissive, I would still turn these on. Like these lanterns feel like they need to be like glowing or something. The side detail here was the other thing I wanted to point out. Maybe you just haven't gotten to it yet, but there's so many of them, and that can be okay. But right now they feel very geometric, right? And of course, I think it's because they're just blockouts currently. Placeholder material. So not just the material, but the geometry. Like they're very, yeah, they're very simple right now, shape wise. These also very big. Is there a concept for this that you're going off of? Because I really like it. It's just tuning those elements. Could you post the concept? I'd be curious to see. Because I've only glanced at your image posts. But man, this is really cool. It's quite a strong statement of a scene. You could make it abandoned, in the sense of like right now, lighting wise, it's very much like diffused lighting. Oh, there's a concept. Okay. So in this image, it's not abandoned, right? But you're going for a bit more of an abandoned vibe. I think these are going to work a little bit better if you shrink yours. Yours are maybe like 20% too large. And you can see how like just shrinking them down, giving them some distance, the scale I think is going to help a lot. When it comes to the mood or the vibe of the scene, I think dirtying up the floor and kind of giving it that forgotten looks, a little bit of overgrowth. Maybe put like a moss, like figure out a moss shader where you can either paint with mask or vertex paint, as well as placing decals that look kind of like moss patches and whatnot. And you can kind of get some griminess that kind of connects everything together, and that'll really push that abandoned vibe. And then from there, you could go with a lighting setup that's much more like subdued or like overcast. Think Last of Us 2. Middle of the city, shaded, no direct sunlight, very overcast. That gives you this kind of gray, cool color. And then from there you can push the subtle warmths in the lanterns, and then make all of the lighting be coming from in here. That'll draw all your attention to the building. And then maybe you could put like a light up here that you don't have to explain, that just like highlights the frog's face. You know, and just like kind of gets the frog's face to kind of pop out from the kind of gray bluish tone. Dude, I see it in my head. I'm like, yeah, man. Let me see if we can. Let's camera raw this real quick. So if we go basics, let's just push the temperature bluer, maybe the exposure down. And then highlights we push down as well. Shadows, sure. Okay, so we'll do that. And we got our duplicate here. Then we'll treat this one as if it's the lanterns version. So we'll turn the temperature up. We'll go for exposure, more temperature, maybe tinting a little bit more reddish. And we'll mask that, invert it, and then we'll just kind of, we'll paint where these lanterns are. And we'll just kind of simulate it a little bit. Of course, it's not going to be perfect because I'm just photoshopping this action. Yeah, so imagine those are kind of glowing, right? You get that nice effect. Maybe we take this one. Let's boost the blue up of this. And then we'll put a mask on this one. We'll invert it. And then this is what I'm talking about with the popping out of the frog's head. Nice. Let's so you get that to pop out a little bit, right? Everything's really toned down. This, man, I want this to like, can I just maybe screen that? It's gonna bug me. I like doing these like paint overs to try and get this. Basically, I need to blow out the pixels that are in the lit area so that it just feels actually lit. Maybe we can screen these ones. What's up, B Single? How you doing? So yeah, if you get this preserve, if you get this vibe going on, tone that down, and then you go back here, and of course, like, I'm not gonna try and make this perfect or anything, but you can imagine what this will look like with some lighting back here. Oh, there we go. I say I'm not gonna make this perfect as I sit here freaking masking away. Nope, not that one. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool though. Like really, really strong. And you get those to pop. Oh boy. And of course you can push the, so we got the frog highlight there. We could push the top edge of this building as well. Maybe this also. Hang on here. We need to deselect the bottom of this. I'm obsessed with this stuff, man. This is so fun. Yeah, so you can pop this out. Maybe we go here and we... there we go. Getting that stuff to just kind of pop out. So everything is focusing you here. You just figuring out the mood, the tone, and then getting all the mossy texture stuff. It's just a tileable moss that you can just bring in with a mask with Vertex Painter masking, and that'll help connect everything together. Take these tools, maybe put a few on the ground, kill the emissives on here. You're in business. I'm feeling it. Cool. Thank you for sharing your concept as well. Let's get to Jay. Jay just posted this. I think did we look at your portfolio? This looks pretty fire, man. Hang on here. These look like lighting. I feel like we looked at your portfolio recently. No? So I really like this one. Really like it. Like it's nice. There's some great balance. Interesting silhouettes. We can read the layering. There's something going on here. There's a little bit of a story happening, right? I don't know where this light's coming from. That kind of throws me off a little bit. It's interesting what you're doing with your lighting. Let me see if we can grab these other ones, because it looks like you're doing lighting studies. I have no idea if you modeled any of this or whatnot. But see, you know what's nice about lighting studies is we can use these. Because what I really like about this shot is I understand more of the shapes. Whereas in this one, the shapes are a little harder to read, but I do see the doorway, right? So there's some contrast or shadow direction that's happening here that's helping understand the layering behind the spaces. So like, for example, down here, we don't really see that this is arched, but in this one we do. So I think if you were able to bring that a little bit forward in the other piece, I think that would help quite a bit actually. Let me see here. We can hack this together because we're using. So it's like pushing it up just a wee bit, and then pushing this back. Now we can understand that this is curved here, right? I think there's some interesting stuff to be said about the lighting here, and maybe it's the fog is really kind of melting everything together. Of course, this edge light is probably better kept, like subtle. Like it should never be brighter than the actual door itself, right? But I want to see it. I want to see more of it. I wonder if you can. I wonder if there's a way to just get this stuff here to pop just a little bit more. And if that's the case, I mean that probably means that this opening here needs to pop. Maybe that could be. You don't want to go crazy with it, of course. But getting that to pop out, I think could go a long way. Because everything's making me want to look here, and I don't know where that light's coming from. I guess there's a light source here somewhere. I don't know I don't know how to get here. Like I can see that there's a path here, but I don't know what's between me and that door, if that makes sense. I wonder if I can. Come on, give me the selection. Oh my god, that's close. That works for me. Okay. We'll stick with this. Wait. I need that piece. There we go. Okay, so let's do that. We'll just turn this up just a hair. So the idea of this is just to get this to pop out. And maybe we can tone it down a bit. But just getting that to separate itself from the background is helping compositionally with like understanding what's in front and behind. Man, this is really cool stuff. So when we look at this one, there's some really nice lighting information because of like the light direction that's giving you all this layering. And here you don't see it as much. I wonder if it's just because everything's getting so tinged in a specific color. Like here, weirdly enough, because in warm lighting like this, you usually lose a lot of color. But in this view, I'm not seeing as much color actually. But like these cables, if these cables just popped out as a different color, that would help a lot, I think, for just reading. Yeah, it doesn't know what I'm trying to select here. I'll just duplicate this, or sorry, not duplicate it. Turn that off. We'll duplicate this one. I don't know if they should pop out like that, but maybe a slight color shift. Just to play with, oh my god, come on, bro. Just to play with getting some material differences in here. Really cool though. Silhouettes are really nice. There's like just these subtle breaks to just try and get it to not look like geometry. Just enough breakage. And there's nothing there's like, you can't really describe it. You have this nice fog that's allowing you to kind of tinge the. Yo, Neo, thank you very much. Neodos. Dude, people getting tier 1s all over the place. Wow, now I can see all the people lurking. Oh my gosh. You guys are the best. I'm happy you're here. I recognize those names. Um, getting that backdrop tinged like that. Love your streams. Great stuff. Thank you very much, Neo. That's really cool. Thanks for all the gifted subs to the people in chat. If you got one, give thanks. Give thanks to the Neo. Um, the background gradients, so interesting to see. It's like you're just using volumetric fog to kind of like bleed these gradients in the background that kind of just aid in the color placement and like the mood of the shot. I also like how in this one you've focused on this. And then even more, the bit of a I see the light now. There it is. Okay, so your light's just not on, sir. That's what's going on here. How did that happen? Oh, look at all those emotes. Did you see the emotes? You didn't see anything. Okay. Either way, it's weird. This light's weird. I don't know how I feel about it. It does feel okay being there. I just need to understand. Man. Okay, we've got 2 more to go through, and then we are out of here. These are sick though, man. I want to know more about this person. Good old Jay. Like, are you making these assets? Or are you just kind of putting together stuff that you're finding online and then doing like lighting passes on it? I'm curious. It does say you're a lighter. UE lighting artist. I'll give you guys the listening to Foo Fighters as well. Hell yeah. There you go. There's the art station. Cool. Let's take a look at CG DJ. Boom, boom, boom. This looks pretty rad. Love the presentation. It's like if TF2 went PBR. That's the vibe I'm getting from this. Looks pretty cool. Welding is a little odd around here, but I like it in here. The screws definitely feel stamped on. I think getting different rotations on those and maybe finding like I mean, with them being that big, I would model them in. If you're modeling these in, I would just model those and place them. Materials look pretty good otherwise. Some nice variety going on in there. Some nice surface detail. Very stylized, but with realistic materials. It's pretty interesting. Maybe if there was some roughness variation between the elements. I like that there's wood here and then you got the metal. This feels a little bit placed on. I guess there's a bolt there that's kind of holding it into place. Is that what I'm seeing? Yeah, it looks like it. This is cool. Yeah, there's just wherever there's screws and bolts, minus these two, they seem to all be kind of oriented in the same way. And just getting those rotated would be good. Whoa, this is cool. And the zip tie here, zip tie is a good opportunity to get that kind of material difference where this is maybe a little bit more reflective, maybe a little darker. Get that black zip tie look. And yeah, pretty rad actually. Nice welding placement here. Maybe some fingerprint definition on here. Just I'd be curious to see what your roughness looks like, just to see if there's like a layer of information we could add on your roughness that gives some storytelling to the surfaces, not just how they were machined and whatnot, but like where oil and grease kind of build up and how the gun's been held and reloaded and replaced and the pieces screwed and unscrewed and those types of things. These feel like very similar materials. Maybe this could be a slightly different one or this could be slightly different but then welded on because you have these welded, that implies that these are different pieces together, like welded together, which means technically they could be slightly different metal, like cut same metal, cut from a different piece, made from a different piece, slight change in the surface. Dude, Neo, thanks again, man. That's awesome. It's just like slowly soaking into my heart. I think that's actually enough tier 1 subs for you to contact me if you want to have a portfolio review. Because you basically just paid a tier 2 sub or more. Yeah. I don't know what else to say on this piece. I think it's surface definition just being pushed a little bit further in the roughness. I would like to see a picture of the roughness. I see you typing right now, so maybe we'll see it. I'm gonna hop to this next one though, just to take a look. This one's pretty cool. See you there. Hell no. Oh, there's okay. There we go. Oh, make this white. No gray. No gray. I mean, it's stylized, so maybe. Oh, there's a lot going on in your roughness. Huh. I would just take these elements and shift them slightly in different values. Then you're probably good to go. Just make them feel like they kind of came from different places. I like gray. I mean, I like gray too, but not in my roughness. This one's pretty cool. I like this. Some storytelling going on here. Lots of little micro details. The environment around it, don't worry too much about trying to solve it. I would just UV it in a way that works for the material types. Use Megascan materials, just get those on there to fill the space out and make it feel natural. And then I would just build this out. It is hilarious that there's a box of crayons here. I think instead of a box of crayons, maybe just a handful of crayons. It feels a little bit too prepared for the situation at hand. The self-rolled cigarettes, nice touch, nice touch. The other thing I'm seeing is this looks like lumen, so you're getting a little bit of light bleeding through stuff. I think your walls need to be... You've been doing programming mostly, interesting. I think the wall thickness needs to be 10 centimeters minimum, or maybe it's 20. So just like all you need to do, because you're not seeing outside of this, is just make sure that you add some boxes that add thickness to your walls. That way you get no like GI light bleeding coming in from lumen. And I think you can turn up your like final gather in Unreal, and that should help with that kind of dappled effect that you get here. You can basically increase the resolution a little bit, and that'll help a lot. When it comes to what we're seeing in here, the light direction's not really helping for figuring out what the materials need to look like, or like what to focus on. Everything's kind of in shadow, so, and PBR is pretty rough in shadow. But yeah, this is cool too. There's a lot of storytelling going on here. Surfaces are looking good. Table's looking good. Get some materials on the backdrop. Don't worry too much about it for now, and just focus on like the presentation here. I would, even though there's a window here, I would try a window from somewhere that you can't see to cast it more like from directly at the shot. Maybe coming from this way and casting shadows that direction, because you'll get more surface play with the way the lights are affecting the materials, and you'll be able to appreciate your material work a little better. But cool. Very cool. Some good stuff. I like all the work you guys posted today. It was crazy nice. There's some really good stuff in here. For anyone who is a nomad in their role, they are now a community. Jay is even new to the stream, so welcome. Let me just make sure I got all of you. Cool. Do you guys have any questions before I jump out of here? We're 7 minutes over. Welcome everyone. Definitely. I appreciate you guys taking the time to share your work. Okay. No, thank you guys for sharing. I slapped question in Discord ArtStation challenge section. Oh. Okay, I'll be sure to take a look. But all right, I'm gonna get out of here. I'll see you guys on Sunday. Yeah, we got Dintobers going strong. Thank you again for all the gifted subs and the resubs. Some crazy resub lengths of time. It's kind of terrifying. And dude, those gifteds are just gonna keep spamming. All right, have a good evening, guys. Thanks again. If you're new here, here's the Discord, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye, guys.